Wow, what on earth? Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Property. So glad you could join me here today. Now, if you're on my VIP newsletter, and in case you're not, link down below, I've been super angsty about how the market is looking right now in January, or the month that has passed. Angsty, not in a good way. I was worried that we wouldn't get enough listings for the amount of activity that was happening in the market. So listings were what we're seeing in January, were holding offers again like it was 2017, which really had me worried. Plus, on top of holding back offers, during offer date, there were 10 plus offers most of the time. So ridiculous. Another crazy thing is a house in Brampton, about $500,000 that was holding offers, had 77 offers. Okay, 77 offers. So, oh boy. So you can see why I was a little bit angsty all of January, because stuff like that was happening. So the numbers are finally in for January, and here they are. And oh boy, here we go. Transactions around 4,500, up 15.4%. Average price, 840,000, up 12.3%. Yeesh. Listings, 7,800, down 17%. Ultimately leaves us to the month of inventory, 1.71 months. At first glance, everything is problematic in my eyes. Transactions being up 15.4%, yeesh. That's a huge jump from the so-called stabilized numbers of 2019. Last year we had a double-digit increase from what was the 10-year low of 2018, but that jump of 15.4%, another double-digit jump, is pretty glaring from last year. Now, I will say, although 2019 January and February didn't start off the strongest, so you can make sure you take it for what it's worth, but these are still pretty ridiculous numbers. Here's a little chart showing the 10-year history of January. You can see that in the last 10 years, January 2017 was the hottest January we ever got, which ultimately led us to the Fair Housing Plan. And that month we had 5,200 transactions. That means we're about a little bit shy of 600 transactions short of that period, or about 10%. Yeesh. And the best part of these numbers is that we went from the lowest of the 10-year average to now almost a higher spectrum on a 10-year average, just like that. Woof, that is strong. All right, average price, we're up 12.3% to 840,000, give or take. Yeesh, here we go again. 12.3% increase in price is, by my books, unsustainable. Unsustainable. To be up 12.3% across the board is way too high. The average price point of 840 is the highest price point in the peak spring of 2019. And it's only $12,000 shy of the highest average month in all of 2019. Just let that sink in. Just let that sink in. Usually in January, average prices is like 10% lower than the peak of whatever that year is going to be. Now, although we're just starting, but if we work the numbers back, January is $840,000 right now. Does that mean the peak is going to be $920,000? Every year, at the end of the year in December, I make a fun and wacky prediction video about real estate based on some truth, but it tends to be fun. And I said that there's a very medium-sized chance that we'd hit $900,000 at one point of the month in 2020, and that downtown prices for condos would be like $1,100 a foot. Well, it looks like $900,000 is probably going to happen at some point this year if this keeps up, and we already hit $1,100 per foot in downtown core for condos. Woo! Oh yeah. And for the record, the highest average price month ever in Toronto was April 2017 at $918,000. Hello? New record this year? Oof. Now, I was bullish on Toronto and said that Toronto had another good 10-year run in it, but wow, are we off to a really, really fast start. Oof. All right, new listings. This blew my mind, and at the same time, I'm super thankful it didn't like completely wipe out the market, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. Now, listings are down 17.1%, which is absolutely absurd if you compare that with the fact that sales are up 15.4%, which ultimately means that there's a 30% swing in the direction of no inventory. And I've been saying, no inventory, big problem. All of last year, we were floating around the months of inventory about 2, and then suddenly in September, when the market picked up a little again, we just dipped below that. Now, I was hoping that we'd start off 2020 with above 2, so that's not crazy, but here we are in January with 1.7, and yeah, nope, I guess that's not happening. We basically just kind of left off where December was and started no lulls, no breaks, and no sellers. Now, thankfully, the month of inventory isn't as bad as it was in January 2017, where there's more sales than there was actual listings. So that is good. And that reverted back to somewhat of the norm, I guess, hopefully. And you can see that 1.71 months of inventory in the last 10 years is still staggeringly pretty low. But hopefully, again, I'm just praying again that we get more listings next month. Now, when I break down the numbers, basically even more, essentially in summary, this is what you can think of. All condos under $800,000 in GTA, fire. Any freehold under $1 million, fire. And if you're looking for a downtown condo under $600,000, whew, fire. Good luck and get ready to compete. There's going to be so much competition. Now, at the time of this video going out, I know there's going to be a lot of talk about whether this is sustainable or not. All the bears are going to come out calling for a crash because these numbers are nuts. They absolutely are. But I'm not worried because I anticipated all of this already because the population growth is going to be absurd. The only thing that has changed is the speed at which this has come. That even shocked me. The buyers have adjusted for the stress test. The population in Toronto is doubling by 2040. We're not building enough properties, houses, condos, everything, not building enough. The writing is on the wall. This is just the start of what I would say is the next ramp up for price increases. So whether you're buying your first property or buying your next investment property, make sure you hire us to help you buy correctly so that you can profit from this rising tide that is the Toronto's real estate market. Oh, and final point, all this talk about changing the stress test, woo, if it happens, holy, watch out. Until next time, guys, happy real estating. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.